high school sweetheart or your first love? It's a fantasy most people ponder, but rarely do anything about. Well, our fantasy cameras traveled to the small farming town of Radcliffe, Iowa, 50 miles outside of Des Moines, to capture the wedding of two nice people, Grace Jorgenson and Virgil Popejoy, who were high school sweethearts when they first began to date over 60 years ago. We met the couple a few hours before they were to be married and talked to both of them, separately, of course.
That was taken in 1920 when we were keeping company, and most likely we were going to church or someplace. He first asked me for a date in 1917. He took me to a box social, and there was a box of candy given for the prettiest girl there. Well, Virgil ran the box of candy up till I got to be the prettiest girl.
Mighty fine lady, mighty fine lady.
Well, then it wasn't very long until we came out one night and he had this apple. It was larger than it is today, and we sat on the swing on the porch, and we filled it full of spice. And I've had it all these years, at least since 1918.
But you know, all was not to be for those two teenagers in love back then. Grace went away to college, and Virgil continued his work as a farmer. Each eventually met and married another and began their own families. Recently, both became widowed. Through an acquaintance, Virgil and Grace met again and picked up their friendship once more. And an obvious change came over both of them.
Well, I used to chew a little tobacco, and I smoked and run around. Didn't go to no shows, but went to church. But that, now I quit doing all that.
We giggle and laugh and have a good time. You'd think we were teenagers.
Things were going so well, in fact, that Virgil decided to pop the question.
I don't know. It's just, we just paired off.
It was very casual. He wrote me in a letter, and he said we were such good friends. The first part of our life, he said he didn't see why we couldn't continue to be friends for life. And I thought, well, we'll be married at Radcliffe. I said I just wanted a simple wedding. But then it just grew like Topsy. It got bigger and bigger, and better and better. We didn't know we had so many friends, but they are rejoicing with us. Both families are just as happy as they can be. They said I was going to be a spinster.
Oh, well, now you've been lucky enough to have two wonderful men?
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that spinsterhood.
Are you getting nervous at all, Virgil?
No, sir.
Are you hanging in there pretty good?
Hanging right in.
Well, good, because it won't be very long here until we'll have you married off.
Virgil, will you have this woman to be your wife, and will you pledge yourself to her in all love and honor, in all duty and responsibility, in all faith, to live with her and cherish her according to God's will in the holy bond of marriage? If so, answer, I will.
I will.
Grace, will you have this man to be your husband? Will you pledge yourself to him to love and honor, in all duty and responsibility, in all faith, to live with him and cherish him according to God's will in the holy bond of marriage? If so, answer, I will.
I will.
I do now pronounce you husband and wife in the presence of God and these assembled guests. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct privilege to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Virgil Popejoy. You may kiss the bride.
we'd like to send a belated present to the newlyweds, a videotape copy of their wedding, and a JVC home videotape recorder to play it on. All our best wishes, Virgil and Grace.
Coming up, it's NFL football on fantasy as some lucky ladies from our audience join the huddle with 4 pro football stars. And next, a string of